Cleantech pioneer hindered by patent office corruption. Meet a brilliant innovator, a distinguished expert in carbon capture and green energy generation. His full name is Solomon Alema Asfa. With over 12 years of experience, he has invented 5 clean technologies. His latest creation, the carbon dioxide capturing and electrical energy generating system, is a game changer for the environment and humanity. It captures CO2 and converts it into electrical energy, revolutionizing sustainability and paving the way for a greener future. His remarkable contributions have earned him acclaim and recognition as a leading force in the fight against climate change. His innovative technology has the potential to capture hundreds of thousands of tons of carbon dioxide emissions from industries, making a significant contribution to reducing carbon emissions and creating a greener and cleaner future. Unfortunately, he has been subjected to discrimination and corruption at the hands of the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, which has caused him significant setbacks in the development of his technology. 1. One of the first instances of discrimination against Solomon occurred when the Canadian Intellectual Property Office abandoned his patent application for his carbon capture technology, despite him having paid the necessary fees on time. In a letter dated 1st October 2021, the office claimed that the payment had not been received and cancelled the application, causing significant delays in the development of the technology. Solomon contacted the office to rectify the situation, but they were unresponsive. Lastly, following numerous disputes, they eventually resolved the matter. Solomon dutifully paid the application fee in June 2020, one within the specified time frame. However, examine the subsequent document dated October 1st, 2021, where the Canadian Intellectual Property Office unlawfully terminated and discarded his patent application. What grounds does the Canadian Intellectual Property Office have to illegally cancel individuals' inventions? Again, what grounds does the Canadian Intellectual Property Office have to illegally cancel individuals' inventions? For now, we'll leave this question to you to discover the answer. 2. Another instance of discrimination and corruption unfolded when Solomon requested an expedited patent examination for his Cleantech technology, which, according to subsection 20A, 1 of the patent rules, should have been given priority due to its potential for carbon emission reduction. Solomon submitted his request for an accelerated examination on March 25, 2022, but the office neglected to respond for 6 months, despite the rule mandating a time frame. In addition, after the long 6 months of approval for accelerated examination, Solomon was entitled to a full-service patent process within a specified time frame under the patent rules and regulations. But this right was unjustly denied to him as the Canadian Intellectual Property Office systematically delayed and held up his patent applications. These continuous delays and bureaucratic hurdles have hindered Solomon's progress and signify an ongoing pattern of corruption. 3. Solomon's ordeal with the Canadian Intellectual Property Office continued to escalate, with further instances of frustration and mistreatment. Despite diligently paying the patent examination fee within the stipulated time frame, he was falsely informed that the fee had not been submitted. This ongoing cycle of bureaucracy, corruption, and discrimination had detrimental effects on his Cleantech technology development, leading to prolonged delays and increased stress for Solomon. Despite following all the necessary rules and regulations, he encountered significant bureaucratic obstacles imposed by the office. Adding to the injustice, Solomon repeatedly received false information about the non-payment of both the application fee and the examination fee. However, Solomon had indeed paid the examination fee on time, and the Canadian Intellectual Property Officer indicating a systematic cover-up and misleading tactics being employed. 4. In yet another instance, Solomon experienced further mistreatment when the office erroneously added unknown words to the title of his invention, and leading to give misleading information to the public and leading to incorrect information being published on Google Patents. On many occasions, Solomon's made a request to the CIPO, but to this day, they will not be willing to resolve these concerns, and they remain unresolved. This ongoing lack of resolution not only continues to mislead the public, but also undermines the credibility of his world-class invention. These deliberate actions by the office aim to undermine Solomon's patent application and discredit his innovative technology. These setbacks have significantly impeded Solomon's work and his ability to contribute to a greener, cleaner future. These setbacks have significantly impeded Solomon's work and his ability to contribute to a greener, cleaner future. This is the gripping tale of the systematic corruption Solomon faced and the unfortunate fate that befell both him and his groundbreaking invention. Just to provide you with the information, Solomon has encountered not only abuse from certain individuals within the Canadian Intellectual Property Office, but he has also faced numerous instances of systemic corruption and discrimination from individual immigration officers. The primary accusation against these immigration officers is that they have falsely accused him multiple times, with the clear intention of systematically sabotaging his innovations. As a result, he has suffered significant losses and his innovative work has been obstructed. Despite his exceptional innovations, the immigration officers deliberately imposed a 5-year freeze and delay on his permanent residency, without any justifiable grounds. This ongoing situation has effectively prevented him from pursuing his innovative work. We hope that the Immigration Office will effectively address the above aforementioned issues and take action against those who have committed this systematic crime. Today, our sole focus is to address the corruption and discrimination that Solomon has experienced within the Canadian Intellectual Property Office. Moreover, Solomon has generously provided multiple pieces of evidence, which we are utilizing here purely for informational purposes. It is important to note that the individuals and rival companies are the driving forces behind all the aforementioned corruptions and criminal activities encountered by Solomon. It is clear how the above corrupted network is connected and working together. Carefully observe. The main reason behind this discrimination and sabotage is his carbon dioxide capturing and electrical energy generation system technology, which he has innovated and developed with his own knowledge, time, and money. Furthermore, Solomon Alame Asfa invested years of research and development into carbon capture and green energy generation technology to reach this stage. The main question every Canadian should be asking is, how many innovators like Solomon are being systematically abused by the Canadian Intellectual Property Office for their inventions? How many innovators like Solomon are being systematically abused by the Canadian Intellectual Property Office for their inventions? Witness the unfortunate fate of Solomon and his groundbreaking innovation, which has become a target of systematic discrimination and abuse. Despite the anticipation of extensive support from various entities, Solomon's innovation fell victim to the corrupt actions of government officials. They shamelessly exploited his invention, disseminating false information and refusing to acknowledge and uphold his patent application, and thus blocking him from commercializing his work, contributing to the zero-emission vision. The Canadian Intellectual Property Office should take full responsibility for what happened against Solomon's invention. The Canadian Intellectual Property Office expected to help inventors not to systematically abuse and destroy people's invention. The Canadian Intellectual Property Office must take strong action against those employees and officers involved in this activity. The discrimination and corruption faced by Solomon are unacceptable and must be condemned. His innovative technology has the potential to reduce carbon emissions significantly and contribute to a more sustainable future. Instead of supporting and encouraging innovators like Solomon, the Canadian Intellectual Property Office has systematically blocked and abused their efforts. The office must be an independent institution, free from any third-party influences or corruption. As an impartial third-party entity, our observation reveals that the circumstances he is confronted with can be aptly described as a form of psychological warfare. It encompasses the intentional dissemination of fabricated information regarding the inventor and his creation, skillfully manipulating public perception through their corrupt networks. Upon receiving Solomon's account and conducting our own impartial investigation for informational purposes, it has become apparent that a select few individuals, corporations, and government officials actively engaged in a deliberate campaign to undermine, discredit, and manipulate his revolutionary clean technology invention. The persistent stream of detrimental influences, systemic corruption, and discriminatory actions aimed at him have had a profound and obstructive impact on Solomon's endeavors, severely hindering his ability to make a meaningful contribution to a more environmentally friendly and pristine future. Solomon endured significant hardships in the battle of life due to the above party's systematic inhuman activities. These difficulties included financial crises, encountering business obstacles, destroying his patents, stressful living conditions, and more. In our role as an autonomous entity, our discernment reveals a distressing reality: the insidious sway exerted by certain individuals, corporations, and government officials orchestrating a web of deceit and disinformation that has led to grave consequences. By disseminating falsehoods, they sow seeds of doubt and hinder the acceptance of groundbreaking innovations. Their calculated actions have not only impeded the acquisition of essential funding and support for transformative advancements, but also stifled the ability to pave the way for a sustainable and purer future through the commercialization of this pioneering technology. The discrimination and corruption faced by Solomon are deplorable and requires condemnation. His innovative technology has the potential to make a substantial impact in reducing carbon emissions and advancing sustainability. Instead of supporting and fostering innovators like Solomon, the Canadian Intellectual Property Office has obstructed and abused their efforts. It is imperative that the office operates as an independent institution, free from third-party influences or corruption. Innovators must have confidence in the office's integrity and trust that their inventions will be treated fairly. Solomon's case highlights the need for enhanced protection and support for innovators, as well as the urgency of addressing corruption and discrimination within institutions responsible for safeguarding intellectual property. It is crucial for individuals, organizations, and governmental bodies to investigate these issues thoroughly and provide support to innovators like Solomon, who tirelessly strive to create a better future for all. In the event of any future harm or adverse consequences befalling Solomon and his remarkable inventions, it is evident that the responsible parties will be held accountable under the law. It is imperative that both the Canadian populace and the global community remain cognizant of this pressing matter. We received various evidences, including the lists of individuals and parties who committed in this shameful activity. We would like to say this again and again. In the event of any future harm or adverse consequences befalling Solomon's life and/or his remarkable inventions, it is evident that the responsible parties will be held accountable under the law. It is imperative that both the Canadian populace and the global community remain cognizant of this pressing matter. We received various evidences, including the lists of individuals and parties who committed in this illegal activity. Our messages to the public. It is our responsibility as a society to speak out against discrimination and corruption, especially when it impedes progress towards a sustainable future. The case of Solomon Alima Asfa is a clear example of the harm that can be caused when innovators face unjust obstacles in their work. As members of the public, we can show our support for innovators like Solomon by speaking out against systematic corruption and discrimination in institutions responsible for the protection of intellectual property. We can demand that these institutions be held accountable for their actions and work towards greater transparency and fairness in their processes. The main question everyone should be asking is, how many innovators like Solomon are being systematically abused and discriminated by the Canadian Intellectual Property Office for their inventions? How many individual professionals are being systematically abused and discriminated? We must have zero tolerance for individuals who commit this kind of systematic discrimination and corruption from officers who works in any institutions. Destroying people's inventions systematically is a serious crime, and those who commit such acts must be held accountable for their actions. We are determined to share this information with the legal community and seek their assistance in identifying and prosecuting the individuals involved in the aforementioned illegal activities. This constitutes a grave crime, demanding the attention and intervention of legal authorities. We are pleased to provide this information to the Law Society and legal organizations, enabling comprehensive investigations and appropriate actions to be taken. Furthermore, we can support innovators like Solomon by sharing their work and spreading awareness about the importance of their contributions to a greener and cleaner future. We can support their efforts by investing in their technologies or by simply advocating for their work in our communities and beyond. Furthermore, we appeal to Cleantech Canadian organizations and worldwide to lend their financial assistance and their any technical support to this transformative invention for the betterment of humanity. In summary, let us all stand together and condemn systematic corruption and discrimination wherever we see it. Let us work towards a future where innovators like Solomon can pursue their work without facing unjust obstacles or discrimination. Together, we can create a more just and equitable society that values and supports the innovations of all. We are committed to diligently pursuing this case and providing regular updates to the public until justice is fully served.